Very good. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to class. Um, all right, so have your usual stuff, your block, your blocks and your straps and all that stuff. And if you have a blanket, go ahead and sit up on the blanket. On the blanket. And again, and of course, if you don't normally sit cross-legged, don't worry about that. Sit any way that makes sense for your body. And Julie out there, if you're sitting, or sorry, Mikhail, if you're sitting on your blocks the way you normally sit, that's fine too. Use that instead of the blanket. All right, so take your shoulders up to your ears and roll them back and let them come down. Good. And again, take them up, squeeze them up, roll them back and down. One more time, squeeze and press back and let them go. And then if you're sitting on either your blanket or your block, try to find that even weight again. And if you normally sit one way, I've been doing this as much as I can think of it. If you normally sit one way, switch. And probably the first 2 or 3 classes that I would switch, it would feel so weird and it would feel uneven. And now it's starting to feel even. So those habitual patterns, right? Those ways that we always do things. You always cross your legs one way, all of that stuff. It's really a good idea to switch it up and probably not cross your legs so much when you're sitting anyway. But that's another story. All right, soften. Start to feel your whole spine working its way right from the base of that tailbone up through the sacrum, the low back, mid, upper back, the neck, right up into the skull, and feel your whole body get a little bit taller. The shoulders go to the side body. And then feel the low belly kind of knit in, right, along that base of the belly between the pubic bone and the belly button. And find your breath. And we've been playing with this very simple counted breath, inhaling for the count of 4 and exhaling for the count of 7. So just take that nice deep breath in, your count for 4. And then a slow exhale all the way out to 7, and feel that exhale deep in the belly, feeling the low belly draw in and up. Inhaling 4. Exhaling it out. And continue with your own count and notice if you're tensing up through your jaw or through your neck as you're doing that deep exhale, feeling the belly work. So when we elongate the exhale, we move into the parasympathetic part of our nervous system, that rest and digest, that calm, everything is okay part of our nervous system. So we bring our stress or anxiety down a notch. We tap into the parasympathetic nervous system and we find this calm abiding. Good. 3 more rounds, everybody. 3 more. Last round. And then open the eyes and start to circle around the hips a little bit. Find your breath. That's it. And you can keep these circles small or larger, right? You can come way forward if that feels good. And kind of notice that side movement as you're doing it, right? As I come across, especially the far side, I'll feel a little stretch in the low back. And then switch directions. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. And then start to take it more to the center. And then more into the ribs. And make it smaller still and feel the ribs move, right? Back side, front side. And then roll the shoulders and imagine that head coming straight out from there. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, one hand down, other arm over. And then reach over your knee. Inhale, reach up, diagonal that arm behind. Take the other arm up and just look to the side. So it's a twist, but we're not dropping the arm this time. Good. Release both arms up. Exhale to your heart. Roll the shoulders back. Let those hands come down. Take it up. Exhale, other side. One hand down, the other one reaches, right? Find that first. And then reach over your knee. Inhale, take that arm up. Turn the chest. Reach the other arm up. And hold. Nice. Take the arms up. Exhale to your heart. And let go. Good. And again, take it over. Find the stretch, ground that hip, feel the shoulder, the hand that's on the floor, that shoulder gets a little softer. Reach over your knee, inhale, take it up, do that little cartwheel move. Keep one hand up, one hand down, open up through the chest. Breathe, and then take that arm up, meet it. Exhale to your heart, roll the shoulders back and down. Last one, inhale. Exhale, take it down. Reach over the knee. Inhale, big cartwheel arms. Open up that top arm, keep it tall. Good, breathe. And then both arms up. Exhale to your heart, interlace, press it out, roll back, tuck your chin. And just stretch out that back body. And then come to neutral, listen up. You're gonna take the hands, palms away from each other, and then turn your right wrist on top of your left. So now your palms are touching, right? You can interlace the hands or keep the hands straight. Draw the hands in and up, and then release and take them up overhead. This is where the hands interlaced or flat, you can do either way. If this hurts anything, let it go. Take it out in front of you, soft interlace, bend the elbows, roll them in, and then reach out and press up. Good, take those hands in front of you. You're gonna switch sides. So look at which wrist is on top and simply switch. Good, here we are again. Take them in. Maybe one side feels a little different than the other. Reach, take them up and overhead. Good, forward, in and reach, and then out and straight up. Good, release both hands, let the palms touch. Exhale your hands down, hold here, roll those shoulders down, and then draw the wrists down until the palms want to start separating. If the heels of your hands start to separate, raise the wrists up. So just a little bit of work here. Find that, lift your chest. Yeah, you're probably feeling a stretch along the back of the wrist. And then turn the palms down, shoulders down. Breathe. Good. Turn them forward and then peel them and go backwards. So the backs of your hands are now touching. I know, it's a little weird, right? And then raise them up. So we're stretching the tops of the hands or the back side of the wrists, reach, and then down, press them out. Palms are still away from each other. Reach up and exhale all the way down. Whew, good. Roll it out, everybody. Good. Switch out the legs if they've been in the same way the whole time. Take the arms up, turn the palms up, roll the shoulders back. Just real simple here. Nice fists. Curl your wrists, hold. Feel that stretch. Whew. Breathe, and then Popeye arms, squeeze them in. Keep those knuckles heading toward the shoulders. Keep a strong bend in the wrists. And then keep that bend in the wrists, open them back up. That's a big old stretch for me. Open the fingers, turn the palms down, curl, and bend the wrists. And now you're doing the Hulk arms, like squeeze them in, squeeze them out, open the fingers. Now pretend those arms are on the surface of water, right? A salt water, and they're just floating. They're just floating. Soften the fingers, right? Soften the wrists and let them come down. Good. Roll it out, everybody. Nice job. And then still sitting on that blanket, ideally take the right leg out. I'm mirroring here, so you know I've actually got my left leg out. Sometimes I have to tell my own brain that. It's not really your right. And then find this nice level of the hips. So notice that extended leg, is that hip forward or back? Have you lost the balance of the blanket? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. So hold it there. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward just a little bit. Feel that stretch in the extended leg. Isometrically drag that leg back. Take your hands to the floor. Don't come down low. Draw the shoulders back. And then imagine you're going to just like drag those fingers along the floor. You're going to pull them back isometrically. The collarbones just got wider. Take a deep breath. Keep drawing the left or your right leg out or back. Breathe. Maybe you come down a little bit more, but then kind of notice what is happening with your body, right? Where are you going with this? What's happening? Can you stay out of the rounding? Big deep breath. And then whichever leg is extended. So if I'm mirroring here, my right leg is extended. You're going to take your left hand on the outside of your knee and take the right arm up. So again, a twist. Breathe. Just kind of notice, how does this feel? Good. And release and roll the shoulders. Bend that knee, switch sides, and come into Janusirsasana on this side. Try to square that foot out a little bit. Open up the shoulders. Kind of feel what's happening, right? You're level on your blanket wherever you are. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, swan dive just a little. Hands come to the floor. I'm going to drag those fingers back. Widen through the shoulders. Start to feel this extended leg drawing back. Excuse me. And then just notice, right? Notice how that's feeling to you as you start to maybe come a little bit forward. Which side is tighter for you, right? Where are our muscles shorter? Where are they longer? What's easier to stretch? What's a little more challenging? Deep breath. And then take that opposite hand to the outside of your knee, your shin, and take that arm up. And breathe. This should feel really nice. It's a gentle twist. We're not working the head, the neck. I'm not looking up. So if you're looking up, maybe look more neutral, right? More to that side. Feel the low belly tone, little bit of stretch at the back shoulder. And then release, take both arms up, exhale, let go. Straighten that leg. Whoo, good. Roll out your ankles, just let that go. And then engage the legs. So imagine you have a block between your thighs and you're going to draw those inner thighs down to the floor. If you kept on going, you'd start to come more pigeon-toed, right? Your toes would come together. So draw the inner thighs down, move the flesh out of those thighs. So bring those a bit wider. Feel how that in itself grounds you, and take the arms up and breathe. Both hands behind the head, open up the shoulders. Woo, don't let that head come forward, right? Keep it back. I'm not strongly interlaced here. I've just kind of got my fingers beside each other because I want to stay super open in the chest and not pull my head forward. Activate those legs. Good, take the arms up. Exhale, let go. Woo, roll the shoulders. And then sit way up on your blanket, way, way up. So it's solidly under both sit bones. Take the hands behind you and windshield wiper the legs. There you go. Just stretch. Take the feet wide. Let those legs start to open up. Good. Next time those legs are over to the left, hold again. I'm mirroring here and just feel this again. So back arm reaches back. We're going to get that chest nice and open. And then just turn that hand forward to come into yet another twist, a super easy twist, right? Maybe you feel the stretch here in that back hip. Want you to tuck the back hip just a little bit and breathe. And then as you open the arm, open the legs, go to the other side and breathe. If the blanket is messing you up or you're half on, half off that blanket, you can move it out of the way. All right, open it up. And there I went off blanket. That's okay. And stretch, right? Don't forget to tone in through the belly. Here we go again. Open, whoop, and stretch. This is great fun, I can tell. And come back to center. Both feet wide. Grab a hold of your feet. Take your feet wider. Yeah. And then elbows to knees, knees to elbows. Press those knees in a little bit. Be gentle here. Don't go crazy. And draw the chest through those arms. Think a happy baby, right? This, if we were laying on the floor, this would be happy baby in a sense. So breathe. And then release. Straighten the legs. Shake it out. All right, one more here and then we're done. Blanket, no blanket, your choice. No hands. So you can put your hands to your heart. You can do little soft fists, which tends to work better for me with one hand on top of the other. Bend both knees, take them both out to the sides. Lift up nice and tall. Blanket is helpful for some people, right? Especially if their hips are feeling tight. Take the legs up and straighten. Just your left leg. Take it up, take it out, take it up and down. Other side, take it up, open, up, down, both legs, up, open, in, down. One leg. Yep, I know. So we're teaching both sides, right? Working with the hips. We're teaching both sides. We're not using our hands. It's okay if your foot doesn't come up quite so high. Don't worry about it. Bring it in. Last one. This one we hold. Take it in. Take it out. Inhale it up. Swan dive forward any amount. Find your pose. And breathe. Snuggle in, everybody. I like to wiggle a little bit. Like to let my body know it's okay here. Maybe you extend the exhale and breathe. Notice how this leg feels in your body, right? Just kind of notice the tightness or the length, the ease or the challenge. Good. Press down through that heel. Take your torso up, lift up. Take the knee up, straighten it, go to the other side, bring it up, take it out, no hands, right? Swan dive forward. Notice this side. Everything else is the same for me, right? I'm trying not to round into my low back. I'm trying to hinge from the hip, which is where that blanket comes into play. It helps bring the pelvis forward. So we breathe, we check it out. Maybe we wiggle a little bit. Deep breath. So it's kind of like, remember when you were a kid, you were either a color in the lines kind of kid. I was that person. Or you were a color outside the lines or make your green tree purple kind of kid, right? So here in yoga, for me, it's the same thing. We're like, okay, you can stay in the lines or you can kind of check out outside the lines a little bit. Like what happens if my hips shifted inward or outward? It's okay to explore. We give ourselves permission to color outside the lines at some point and take it up. Woo. Take that knee up, no hands. Straighten them out, both legs. Here we go. Take them up. Open it up. Now, here you can use your hands because we're going to stay. So lift your hips. Draw the hips back. You're either on blanket or not, right? It's a sweet pose on blanket because, again, the pelvis will roll forward a little bit more, which often will open this inner groin a little bit. Don't overdo. If you need blocks under your knees, go ahead and do that. And then just pause. And then what happens if we sway side to side or we do tiny hip circles around these legs, right? Go the other way. If this is hurting your knees, take those feet wider or further out. And then come to center and just move the ribs. And then take all that to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands in front. Cross one over the other. Turn the hands so the palms are together. We just did this. Bring them in. Bring them out. Palms touch. Reach over your head. See what happens. And forward. Switch wrists. Bring them in. Bring them out. Hokey pokey, right, Martin? And take them up. Release the hands and just find this tone, that low belly, like you could draw yourself up away from the floor a little bit. Exhale, arms down, bring them back to your chest so you don't use your hands. Bring them in, feel those legs, straighten them out. Now you can release and shake it all out. Woo! All right, come on up, everybody. Blocks are to the front. Your blanket can go under your knees if you would like. It's going to be there a little bit, so you may want that. And then come to table pose. Spread through your fingers and watch too, right? When we say spread through fingers, a lot of times I see this and I used to do it. I'd spread, but then the thumb would be almost at an L shape, right? Try not to bring it quite that far. It puts a little strain on that thumb. So bring it more in so it's about the same spacing as the rest of the fingers. And then try to find that. See what you think of that. Open up the shoulders and tone the belly, right? So if you've been doing the class with me lately, right, we're working with this kind of clock face idea that the belly button and the pubic bone or inner groin are pretty level, the left to right hip pretty level. So see if you can find that. And then press the right leg back and lift the leg just enough to keep everything else level. And trust me, this ain't that easy, right? Because I want to lift higher or I want to lift the leg higher or something. So I'm seeing if I can draw that leg down Find the middle space. Notice the inner thigh rolls up toward the ceiling. Inner thigh rolls up, which means the outer thigh kind of rolls down toward the floor. That made it harder. And then cautious here. You're going to turn that foot to the outside. Slide it over. See if you can find the level of your hip. Drop the foot down. Betty, you know what to do here. Walk your hands back. Look at your knee that's on the floor. Left knee to left hip. And then take your whole torso up and reach the arms up. Gate pose. So we're grounding this long leg. That leg's coming straight out from the hip. The belly tones in. And we breathe. Take if it's your right leg out, which it should be, take the right arm down and reach the left arm over, but don't overdo. Don't sink in the hip joint. Keep it long and just reach that side body. It feels so good. And then turn toward your leg. I know it's going to be weird. And take both arms up and breathe. Little twist, right? How weird is that? Good. Come back to center. Take your left hand to your left hip and stretch over the other way. Your left hand can go down your thigh. I did not cue a block. A block out there would have been nice. Breathe, tone in through the belly. Don't let your low back sway. And then squeeze it up. Take it up. Hands down, behind goes back. Walk those hands out. Hardest part of this. Tone that belly back to level. See if you can lift the leg. And then slide it back and lower it down. Good. Maybe sit back for just a second. Stretch it out. I'm going to turn around so I have room to do that on the other side. And come on up to table again. Once again, that same old thing, right? Don't sink into the back. Tone it in a little bit. Use your belly. Press the left leg back. Find level. Lift the leg. Squeeze your glute. We got to always be working these glute muscles. I'm telling you, right? We got to keep them strong so that our low backs don't take the brunt, so that our hips don't take the brunt. Keep squeezing in. Notice. See if you can find level. Inner thigh rolls up toward the ceiling. Outer thigh rolls down just a little bit. And then turn the toes out. Slide it across that imaginary table. Drop the leg down. Press into that foot. Walk the hands back. And come on up. Find that. Take the arms up. And breathe. Right, so even here in gate, right, I'm feeling really solid. That standing knee, right over the hip, right over the shoulder, everything lined up, belly's toned in. Take that left hand, slide it gently down the left leg, and just open up the right side. Big deep breath. And then take the arms up and twist toward that leg. Just twist toward the leg and breathe. Hold on to the beach ball. And then come back to center. Let the right hand go to the right outer hip or outer thigh. Just stay supported, right? Just don't hang. Stay supported. Big deep breath. Take both arms up. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Walk the hands out. Squeeze the low belly. Lift the leg. Whoo! Take it over and back. Lower that leg down and maybe sit back. So in child's pose, even if you can, flip the toes under and then sink back so that we can stretch through the backs of your feet. Stretch it out, everybody. Good. And come on up. We're almost done with the knee stuff, but not quite. So here's where you're going to need those blocks. So you can bring those into play. I like that side better. And from table pose-ish, bring your right foot forward. Once your right leg is forward, I want you to start to straighten it. So what I'm actually doing is using my blanket to slide my back knee back some, and then I'm going to straighten my front leg. Bring the toes with you. You can take the blocks up high, right? Just to give yourself a little bit of room. And then same thing here. I want you to go from an overarch, if you are, to a little bit of a tuck, but not too much, right? We don't want a flat back either. We don't want to round here. We just want to find neutral. Press the heel into the floor and try to drag the heel back isometrically. Feel that. Bend the front knee a little bit and still drag back. Oh, right? Heck yeah. There's some hamstring work, right? Back of the leg right here, babies. And then straighten the leg and try to find that nice length. Maybe you walk the blocks a little further forward. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe that's enough for you. Breathe, hamstring. Keep drawing the right leg back into its hip socket. And then bend that knee, come into just a nice little lunge, a controlled lunge, and release. Slide the right leg back and slide the right or the left leg forward. Big deep breath. And then slowly straighten the left leg. Bring the toes up. A lot of times that's helpful to, instead of trying to keep that foot grounded, you can have your blocks up high, you can have them down low. I'm going to play with my hip line here and see where I'm at, right? I'm going to see if I can make that left side nice and even if you came way back and had the chest really high so that you could get a sense of where you are in space. And then press into that heel, try to drag the leg back. Bend that knee a little bit and drag the heel back. Oh, isometric work. Love isometric work. No kidding, right? I do it a lot. And then straighten the leg. Feel that. Maybe you walk the blocks further forward. But notice if the left hip is either rolling out or rolling forward. See if you can keep some levelness there. And then release, bend that knee. And take that knee back, everybody. Set both blocks off to the side. Plant your hands. Flip your toes under, downward facing dog. Woo, pedal it out. Already, right? Already we feel the legs. So either stay here and just play with your down dog. Remember your shoulders, everyone. Try not to sink into the shoulder joint, but instead wrap the muscles around that shoulder joint. Lean into your right foot, peel the left leg up, level out the hips. You can point the toes kind of nice here, but still find that level space. And lower that leg. Switch sides. Breathe. Adjust your pose. I know it's hard to tell if someone's not looking at you, if you're even or not. I know it is. It's hard for me, but just see what you can do. Lower that leg. Take both feet wide. Walk your hands back. When you're here, once you're there, take the feet wider still so that you're in a forward fold. I know you'll probably be off your yoga mat, right? Because chances are you're not sideways. So breathe and reach. Press into your hands, come halfway up. Squeeze in through the belly, heel toe in. Get back on your mat. Bend your knees and come on up to standing. And roll it out, shake it out. Grab your blanket. Turn your blanket into a burrito. Wrap it up. Take the burrito in your hips. We did this last class. Press it in. Hold on to it. and then come on down. Oh, this is just so nice. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't feel this way for everybody, but the blanket creating the space, right, where the belly, the ribs can reach over the blanket allows us to again feel the inner thighs rolling back, the outer thighs wrapping back in. Use your breath. Now, you're here. And by the way, if it's too low for you, just take your hands to your blocks. You don't have to go that low. I want you to imagine that the heels, the skin on the heels of your feet and the skin on your legs and the skin on your hips are reaching in, right? So that we tighten or we engage the muscles and the hips a little bit more. Find your breath. It's very subtle, right? It's imagining that everything is kind of wrapping toward the back body. Breathe. Let the head hang. You know who you are, Miss E. Breathe. Bend your knees. Let that blanket sink into your belly. Take your elbows to your knees. Elbows to knees. Draw the shoulders away. Let that belly press into, or that blanket press into your belly. Maybe you wobble side to side a little bit. And then hands to hips or hands to knees. Grab your blanket. Whoo, take it up. And then just drop your blanket off your mat and shake it out. It got a little dark in. It's a little cloudy today, isn't it? Grab one block, take it between your legs. Little baby reset. I could do this all day. I don't know what, I don't know why, I don't know what, but because I think I do so many things where my legs are, you know, going from one side to the other, that this just feels so good. So while you're here, right, feet are parallel, see if you can heel toe in any amount at all. For some, that's super easy. For some, not so easy at all. Squeeze your block. Imagine the inner thigh pressing back, right? If you kept on going, the butt would poke out. Don't let that happen. But draw the inner thighs back. Take the arms up. Soften the shoulders. You're looking straight ahead. Now imagine that you could activate the back body. So I want the glutes, hips active. Try to activate the back, right? The back muscles, and breathe. Take the arms out. Fists, wrists, arms, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep the wrist curled. Open up, fingers up, turn the hands down, curl, fists, make the sound. Oh, Lordy, that was pathetic over there. I heard this. Shake them out. Do it again. There we go. That's much better. And take them out and let them go and roll out. Good. Take that block out, shake it off. And then take the same block down closer to the knees. Now, if this hurts your knees, take it back up and just go, you know, go sideways. But if you can take it between the knees here, go ahead. Don't press super hard. Feet are parallel to each other. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart, and have a seat. Now, try to level out so that your feet and your knees are the same distance apart. Sometimes when we're squeezing a block, the knees will be in and the feet will be out. So one hand to chest, one hand to tailbone, lengthen them away from each other. You know that. Take the arms up. Yes, I know. Breathe, tone this spot right here. Draw it in and up. Think of that clock face, right? I'm not dipping my belly button. Breathe. I know, squeeze the block. You got this, everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up, big extended arms. Exhale, let go. Take the block out. Come back to the front of your mat. Shake it out. Shake it out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees. Step back with your right leg, come into a lunge, grab both of your blocks. Take your hands onto your blocks. Roll the left hip back. Begin to straighten the left leg. Pyramid pose. So what do we do with this pose, right? If you feel like you're too long, shorten. Probably a standard pyramid would be more of a 2/3 step back, but if you feel like you want to go a little longer, that's okay. Lift all the toes of your front foot and press through the ball mound of the front foot. Start to level out the hips, right? How do you do that? For me, it's wrapping the left hip back, pressing through the right foot to make the right leg long. Big deep breath. And then your hand that's on the right block, walk the right block forward a little bit. Put your hand on there, make sure it's solid. Take your left hand to your hip and just look to the left. Just look to the left. And if you're like me, your left hip just rolled forward. So maybe you take the left hip back a little bit. Press into your big toe mound. And release, take it back to center. Walk that block back, hold, bend your front knee, straighten your back foot. So if your back foot was turned to the side, straighten it up. Squeeze in through your belly, take the arms up, high lunge. If your pose is too narrow, go wider. Breathe now. Take the left hip back, roll the right hip forward. Woo. And breathe. Hands to hips. Careful, push off, step forward. Shake it out. Ah. Yowie. All right. Here we go again. You're in mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the floor. Breathe. When you're ready, you're going to step back left leg. Grab your blocks, hands to blocks. You can take the blocks at any level, but I'll tell you why I'm at medium, right? I would do medium or high to start, because if my hands are on the floor, I might have a harder time playing with the hip. So I like having the space in my upper body so that I can play and move around that hip. All right, so you're here, begin to straighten the front leg. And for me, I've dropped that back heel to the inside just a little bit. Raise the front toes. Spread those toes out, create some space. And then start to play. See, we're all different, right? Our hips all manifest a different way. So if you wrap your right hip back, what did that do to the left? Did your left hip start to dip? If it did, see if you can level it. Think of that clock face again of the low belly toning in, the pubic bone and the belly button on the same general plane, and breathe. Try to soften here. Press into the big toe mound. Take the left hand block a little further forward. I'm going to shorten my pose on this side because it feels a little too long. And then I'm going to take my right hand to my right hip. I'm just going to look to the right. Oh, try to keep the front leg straight. Toes are down, by the way. Front toes are down. Push into your back leg and breathe. Release, hand down, hands to your blocks. Walk both blocks forward. Bend your front knee. Straighten your back foot. Hands can come to knee. Squeeze up. High lunge. And breathe. Hands come to hips. Push off. Step forward. And shake it out. Good. And then find a wall if you can. Find something that you can put your hand on and just bend that one leg back. If you can, grab your foot. And then just stretch this quad. Because we do a lot of work on those quads, on those thighs, but we don't stretch them a whole lot. If you can't grab your foot, you can use a strap. Another way to do it is if you've got a wall. This is actually not necessarily easier, but you can press, whoops, see what I mean? Foot into wall and then press the hips out, and you might find a stretch here. All right, other side. Take the hand back. I know, Betty, you just got there. Woo. Now, the temptation is to kind of do this. Don't do that. Tuck in, stretch, right? If the pelvis tucks in, we can get a better stretch through the quad. Big deep breath. And release, shake it out. Woo. All right, come on back, everybody. Come on back. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your legs, pretend you have a block between them. Don't hyperextend the knees. Open up the shoulders. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it down. You can move the blocks out of the way for a moment. We're coming right back to them though. Step back with your right foot. Take your hands to your blocks. Little shorter stride, little more pyramid-ish. Back toes are pointed mostly forward, but the heel is dropped if you can. The hips start to level out. The right hand block moves forward. The left hand either goes to hip, and we're going to turn to that left again, or we're going to take the arm up. Breathe, squeeze the inner thighs together. Find your pose, tone in through the lower belly, and feel a slight lengthening of your tailbone. Release, hands to blocks. Step back. Sorry, step your right foot back more so you're still in a lunge. Take the hands up, come back to high lunge. Whoop. Press through the back leg. Breathe. Tone in through the belly. Notice your pose. Good. Exhale, hands down. Step forward. Bend the knees. Come on up. And exhale, shake it out. Whoo. Don't let me forget the other side. Right, so as we keep working, this whole area, I always think of, right, so here's your hip joint, right, where that femur comes into the socket that's part of the pelvis. As I keep strengthening the muscles around the joint, right, that joint stays more stable. And that's kind of what I'm looking at when we do all this stuff. All right, other side. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down. Whew. Soften down, step back with your left foot. That's why I always start right foot forward, so I can keep track of this stuff. All right, level out your hips, everybody. Short hop forward, more pyramid-ish. Drop the back heel if you can. Start to straighten the front leg and wrap the front hip. So if you think of a pose like this, really what we want to do is take the torso out from the leg, right? It's still less about taking my head down for me. It's about lengthening the torso. And just feel that. It's like, whoo, right? If you cramp up, just bend, just stop, just pause. Take your left hand forward, block forward. Start to think about this little bit of a turn through. Maybe the hand goes to your hip. Maybe the arm goes up. Front leg straight-ish, right? Best you can. Press through the back leg. Find your pose. and release. Holy moly. Step the left foot back just a little bit more. Bend your front knee. Take your hands up. Come on back up to a high lunge. Big deep breath. Belly squeezes in. Big old smile on your face. And then hands to hips, step forward and shake it out. Grab your block. Back between the knees. We're doing another chair pose, just so you know. If you need a bathroom break now, it'd be a good idea. No, just kidding. Stay. Stay. Gentle squeeze on the blocks because you don't want to irritate your knee. Inhale, reach up. Hands to heart. Come on down. Adjust the feet, right? Wiggle it out. Lengthen the tailbone, all that stuff. Take the arms out. Now, if you take the arms up and that just messes you up, a lot of times I'll see a student round their back when the arms go up. So either go here but pull back or go here. All of those are awesome. The arms are the sprinkles. Sprinkles on the cake. My sister always puts sprinkles on the cake. Breathe, belly's toned in. No strain in the low back. This is in the legs, everybody, right? No kidding. Legs, hips, core. Breathe, take a deep breath. Come on. Stand up. Exhale, let go. Take the block back between your thighs, way up high. Watch the knees, give the block a squeeze. And then just one more if you can. Go second width. Keep the block high-ish. Turn those ankles in, squeeze your block. Release that, just set your block down. Last one here, feet are wider than your normal hips width. I want you to bend the knees, hands to outside knees. Push your knees into your hands. If I turn sideways, what I'm not doing is dumping in my low back. So low belly core, push against your knees. 5, 4, push, 3, 2, 1, and just stand up. And notice, right, maybe just that little bit, block squeeze, knees, all that. It's like, okay, things feel a little bit more pulled together. All right, come on back to the front of your mat. We're simply going to down dog, right? See, down dog becomes pretty sweet after a while. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it down. Step yourself back to downward facing dog. Find your breath. Spread the fingers, don't overspread the thumbs. Feel the middle finger, right? The middle finger press down through that knuckle to support the weight of the hands right through the middle hand. Pedal out the feet. Good, teeny tiny little flow here. So all we're gonna do is inhale to your tippy toes, exhale down to your knees, sit back toward the hips, round your back up, bring it back to neutral, down dog. One more of those. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale the knees down, let the hips sink back. Round the back as you come up, release to more neutral, downward facing dog. Optional right leg lifts. Both knees down. Sink back, round up, release, down dog. Leg lifts are optional. Left leg lifts. Both knees down. Sink back. Round up. Back to neutral. Down dog. Hold. We're going to do one more set, your choice. Right leg lifts. When you lower the knees, it should be full control. Release back. Round up. Back to neutral. Downward facing dog, everybody. Last one, last side, left leg. Both knees. Sink back. Round up. Neutral spine. Down dog. See if you can hold. Open the feet a little bit. Right hand stays down. Left hand goes to right knee. Breathe. Release. Switch sides. Right hand goes to left knee. Single arm. A lot of work for the shoulders. Release. Hallelujah. Knees down. And child's pose. Let the hands come under head so that your head's not dropping. And just breathe. Deep breath in. Long breath out. And then roll yourself up. Take your legs out from under you just for a moment. And I want you to take one block in your hands. I'm going to stay sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Take the block behind you. You can sit any way you want with your legs. And then just press that block back. Lift your chest. Drop the shoulders. Just press back. However you hold the blocks, okay. I like the palms facing out. Because we just did a ton of work for this, whether you realize it or not. And then set the block down and push the block. So I'm here, if you can't see, right? And just push the block down as you press the shoulders back. That feels marvelous. Big deep breath. Bring the head back to alignment, everybody. Try not to let it shoot forward. And release that. Beautiful. Take that blanket little by little, right? You're going to take the blanket that usually looks like that and fold it in half widthwise so that that blanket will pretty much be side to side on your mat. We've played with this a little bit. We're going to play with it a little bit more. You don't need your blocks right now. And then you're going to lay belly down on this blanket with your pelvis, belly button, pubic bone on the blanket. So the blanket's got to be middle-ish of your mat. So it's become one of my new favorites, which you know what that means usually. Right. And it's one that I've learned from the training that I'm doing. Me personally, I like head down. I can't see keeping the head up for this one. Doesn't make sense in my body. The way that the teacher teaches it, the hands are at the shoulders, kind of like you're starting to do a cobra, but I find that too much on my neck. So you decide for you. Hands are down, right? Head is down. And then I'm going to take that pubic bone and I'm going to push that down into the blanket. Down, 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 right? Feel super grounded there. And breathe. Flip the toes under and lift the knees off the floor. Notice when you did that, did your tailbone pop back up again? If it did, push it back down. Push the pubic bone down to the edge of that blanket. And then just lift one leg a couple inches. Don't lift high because that tailbone will pop up. One leg lifts. Glute work, my darlings. Press through the heel. Engage the leg, the glute. Feel the entire glute. There's 3 glute muscles there. Feel them work. Turn the toes out. Turn them neutral, turn them in. Keep the level leg. Turn them neutral and drop that foot. Release the other toes, just shake it out. All right, here we go. Flip the toes under, lift the knees. Press down through the pubic bone. Toes are on the floor. Imagine you're squeezing a block between those knees. Lift the other leg. Don't lift high. What I did incorrectly when I was learning this was I lifted the leg too high. I want the hip on the floor. Breathe. Turn the toes out. Might feel it a little different, a little more outer hip. Turn the toes neutral down toward the floor. Turn them in any amount. Turn them neutral and release. Release all the toes. Pat your feet. Flip the toes under, lift the knees. Imagine you're squeezing a block, lengthen your tailbone. I can't stress that enough that you want to be out of your back body, out of your low back. Good. Choice number one, lift one leg. Choice number two, lift both. They're not going to go far. Flex your feet. Squeeze your glutes. Upper body is neutral. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down, everybody. Woo-wee. Just breathe. And then come on up to your elbows. Sphinx pose, right? So you're still on the blanket. That blanket should still be sort of dumping the pubic bone, or sorry, the tailbone down toward the bottom edge of the floor. So make your low back longer. Tone your belly in and breathe. Okay, 1, you're here. 2, flip your toes under. 3, lift your knees. Here's the hard part. 4, squeeze in, lift up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips. Release your toes. Sphinx pose. And breathe. All right, one more here, everybody. Core, core, core. Right? Can you love your core? Can you love your belly, your hips, right? Can you bring them a sense of I adore you, I adore you. Okay, flip your toes under. Lift the knees. When you lift the knees, right, it's easy to kind of be wobbly here with the feet and the toes go out to the sides. No, bring those knees toward each other like you're squeezing a block. Squeeze in through the belly. Maybe you're here. Or lift up. Elbow plank. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Good job, everybody. Take the upper body down. Undo your toes if they're flipped. And find your breath. And then find your strap and just set it along your side so you can get to it. I want you to turn over to one side. You're going to take the blanket out. And then come on to your back. That always feels good, right? It's like the Pavlov experiment, right? It's like the dog knows it's going to get fed. I know that class is coming to an end. My whole body goes, oh. All right, hands to the front hip bones. And I want you to just feel where your hips are in space. Maybe you keep the sacrum on the floor, but you do these weird little hip circles where you're dipping and rolling, right? I hope that makes sense for you. But imagine if this was a clock face and you're just bringing the hands around the clock by tucking and tilting and rolling, and then go the other way. This should feel kind of nice after the work we've done. And then come back to neutral and feel that. Bring your right knee to your chest. Squeeze it in as much as you want. Straighten the left leg. Hold here and breathe. Grab your strap. Take it around your right foot. Take it up to the ceiling. And then find a little space behind that low back. So if your leg is up high and you're flat, move the leg away so that you have space. Squeeze in through the belly, hold. When and if you're ready, lift the left leg a couple of inches. Don't lose the pelvic neutrality. Take the left leg up. Exhale slowly down. One more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let the left leg come all the way down. Just stretch that right. And then bend the right knee, release your strap. Straighten the right leg alongside the left. And then bend both knees again. Neutral spine or neutral pelvis. Bend the left knee, bring it into chest. Straighten the right leg. And just pause. If you're rounded here, that's okay, right? Because we're drawing that knee deep in toward chest. Once we push that leg away, we'll come back to neutral. Take your strap around the left foot. Take it up to the ceiling. Ooh. Find neutral. I know if you've been doing class with me, what, 4 or 5 classes now? It is in my brain. So we're playing with this. Good. Little tone to the belly. Watch that neutral spine. Take the right foot off the floor a couple of inches. And then if you can, raise the right leg and lower. Big exhales. One more. Bring it up. Bring it down. Let it come all the way to the floor. Good extension through the legs, which means the knee is not bent, not hyperextended, but it's not bent if you can. And then release your right leg, set your strap aside. Straighten both legs, we're almost there. Just pause, check it out. Where's the hips, right? Where's everything feeling? Bend both knees. Find neutral, take the right leg up. Now it's real easy to go out of neutral here. I took the right leg up, my right hip hiked. So I'm gonna lower that right hip back to neutral. I'm gonna turn the toes out, bend the knee, come to figure 4. I only want you to bring the knees up as high as your low back can stay neutral, which means I'm not flattening my back to the floor. It's a whole different feeling. And I know some of you, I can picture one in particular. It's like, I don't really feel a stretch if I don't bring my knees up into my chest. Stay with me here. Level out the hips. Take the left leg straight up and breathe. Bend the left leg. Then if you want, draw the knees tight into chest and release it. Good. Straighten both legs just for a second. Check it out. Bend both knees. Bring the left leg up. Pause, find your neutral, find the hips. Turn your toes out to the left. Bend the knee, come to figure 4. Bring the knees up, but keep space behind your low back. This doesn't have to be a lot of space, right? But you should probably be able to get a finger under there, or throw a few blueberries under there, right? Breathe, everybody. Take the right leg straight up. Big deep breath. Bend the right knee. Bring the knees in closer if you would like. Deep breath. And release. Both knees to chest. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck your chin up to your knees. Make yourself a tight little ball. Then release it. Feet to the floor. One leg straight, the other leg straight. Hallelujah. And find Shavasana. And even in Shavasana, maybe you check it out. How am I feeling? Where's the hips? Maybe you give your glutes a little quick squeeze to do a little tiny reset. And then let them go soft. Let the legs fold out to the sides. The palms are face up. And then you let go. You really, really, really let go. You let go of any unnecessary muscle engagement. You let the belly and the jaw be soft. You let the legs be really soft. And just imagine, if you will, in your Shavasana, that there's a little tiny smile that is starting at your toes. And that little tiny smile is working its way up your feet and then up to your knees and then up to your hips and belly. That tiny smile up to your heart. The exhale brings that smile down both arms to your fingers and your fingernails. And then up and through your back body, all the way to your head, your eyebrows, and your face. Feel your eyes smiling. Feel your throat smiling. And then let that go too. Just be in the present. Those of you who are ready, that feels like that should be about a 20-minute Shavasana, but our time is up. So start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Very slowly bend your knees, draw your knees to your chest. Rock side to side. Allow the knees to roll to one side or the other. Curl over to fetal pose. Snuggle in for a moment. And then press all the way up.
Bring your hands to your heart. Allow your whole being to smile. Bring that smile out into the world. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.